it's Tuesday, August 9th, and you're watching the 5th episode of Logged In. We had to take a short break while Kenna's guild was tearing up the Firelands, but we've got some serious catching up to do. And speaking of the Firelands, how'd your guild do?
Well, you know, I don't like to brag, but
But you brag all the time,
look,
so...
the point is, I don't like to brag. We're basically the shiz.
So does that mean, like, US first?
Oh yeah, of course, you know, it's easy.
But how about the world rankings?
You know what, that's not really important at all. Today we're recapping Fireland's progression, letting you know who killed what when, and who failed miserably, and fell flat on their face. As usual, the final standings were dominated by European guilds, but it wasn't exactly a runaway race. More on that later. The race was on the moment Firelands dropped, and US guilds used their first 6 hours of their 24-hour head start to clear the whole instance. Although some guilds, like Blood Legion, took this time to use the more strategic approach of splitting their raid to acquire more loot, it was Enigma of Deathwing that was the first to defeat normal Ragnaros. Any good raider, however, knows that the true fight starts with heroic modes, and it'd be another week before that race began.
Having spent months preparing for Firelands, the usual suspects were the major frontrunners coming into this tier, and day one posed no surprises. Blood Legion, Premonition, and Vodka moved into an early lead by quickly defeating the first 4 bosses on the first day. Though they all started by making quick work of Shannocks, ironically they split up after they moved on to the next leg of the race.
Blood Legion scored the US first beth'tilac, with Premonition taking Fireland and Vodka taking Elisrazor. On the other side of the world, it was Method with their early lead, scoring the EU first of Beth, Alice, and Rylith, followed closely by a lot of familiar names. Despite this early persistence, however, Belrock, appropriately named the Gatekeeper, would be the first to thin the herd.
With a 6-minute enrage timer and more health than a Subway fat camp, those guilds wishing to reach Ragnaros in the first week would have to earn it. Theory crafters took their napkin math to the forums to claim how ridiculous the DPS requirements were, and top guilds were keeping their strats hush-hush. Hundreds of low percentage wipes bounced around the rumor mill, but in the end, it was Method that took the world first kill.
This kill was followed shortly, of course, by Dream Paragon. In the US, Vodka continued their strong push by claiming region first shortly after Paragon, with Blood Legion following soon after. The world didn't have to wait long for the next boss to be taken down, as Paragon proved Staghelm would not be another roadblock with their world first kill. Method remained hot on their tail, however, taking second a mere 45 minutes later. In the US, it was Vodka scoring the first kill, followed by Premonition, who overtook Blood Legion for the second place position.
By the end of the week, there were only a handful of guilds that were tackling Ragnaros heroic mode. This game has had hard encounters before, but given the amount of time it took for progression to be evident, Rag was on a whole new level. Guilds spent attempt after attempt working on strats against Ragnaros, and each day, a new guild would be added to the list progressing on the encounter.
A 15-minute long fight and 10 minutes are spent just getting to the hard part? This was an encounter like nobody had ever seen before. Rumors flew wildly and forums were filled with people rooting for their favorite guild. In the end, it was no surprise that Dream Paragon took the world first kill. This was followed a week later by Method, which was followed 2 days later by Envy? On the other side, it was Vodka taking the US first kill, followed 1 week later by Premonition. As of this recording, there have been 12 kills of Heroic Rag, and there's yet to be a 3rd US kill.
Well, it was a hectic month of progression, but that's all behind us now.
Wait, so you're done with progression too?
We still got a few bosses.
Oh, really? Well, you know, LearnToRaid.com has all you need to succeed, giving you that boss kill feed. We've got tutorials for every normal mode Firelands encounter, and heroic coverage is streaming out regularly. So be sure to come by the site and check us out. And as always, we'd like to remind you to help us grow. Bookmark us at LearnToRaid.com.
Follow us on Twitter and Justin TV.
And subscribe to us on YouTube and Blip TV. We'll be back in 2 weeks with a hot new episode of Logged In, and some brand new featured content.
Oh, sweet.
Like potatoes. Or peas.
I wasn't feeling so good.